Hello students, good morning. So my name is Kishore, working as a physics lecturer in Vigyan Cooperative Junior College. So we are discussing the chapter thermal properties of matter, and in this chapter, in the last video, we studied about the radiation and black body radiation spectrum and what is Wien's law, and also we studied the Stefan's law. And in this video, we are going to continue the radiation, that is Newton's law of cooling, and what is global warming and what is greenhouse effect. So in this video we are discussing Newton's law of cooling and the derivation of Newton's law of cooling and what are the conditions that is applicable for Newton's law of cooling, and then we will see global warming and greenhouse effect. Hi students, so let us see the video. So whenever a body is kept in air, then heat is lost to the surrounding. So there is exchange of heat between the body and the surrounding. And the loss of heat energy per second is called as the rate of loss of heat energy, and it depends upon the so many factors. So the loss of heat energy per second is called as the rate of cooling, and it depends on so many factors. So Newton's give a law which states that the rate of loss of heat energy is directly proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. So this is the statement here. The rate of loss of heat energy is directly proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. So we already just noted the rate of loss of heat energy is nothing but the loss of heat energy divided by time is called the rate of loss of heat energy. So dq by dt is called as the rate of loss of heat energy. So according to this law, the rate of loss of heat energy is proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. That is dq by dt proportional to T1 minus T2. Here T1 is the temperature of the body and T2 is the temperature of the surrounding. And if you remove the proportionality, we have to introduce a constant. So dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2. And here the negative sign indicates there is a loss of heat energy. So dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2 is the mathematical form of Newton's law of cooling. So once again I am summarizing the law. The rate of loss of heat energy is directly proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. Now let us derive the expression. So Newton's given law. So this is the scientist Newton, and this law states that the rate of loss of heat energy is proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. And if you consider the T1 as the temperature of the body and T2 is the temperature of the surrounding, then this law is nothing but dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2. Here dq by dt is the rate of loss of heat energy, and T1 is the temperature of the body and T2 is the temperature of the surrounding. And Newton, so here we are considering the temperature of the body as T2 degrees centigrade. So anyone we can take T1 may be temperature of the body and T2 is maybe temperature of the body. So in this derivation we are considering the temperature of the body is T2 degrees centigrade and the temperature of the surrounding as T1 degrees centigrade. And here we are assuming T2 is greater than T1. So the rate of loss of heat energy is given as minus dq by dt is proportional to T2 minus T1. And if you remove the proportionality, we will introduce a constant dq by dt is equal to minus k into T2 minus T1. Here the negative sign indicates that there is a loss of heat energy. So minus dq by dt is equal to minus k into T2 minus T1. So let us consider this as equation 1. And we already know dq by dt is equal to, so here the k is the constant of proportionality. And we already know that m is the mass of the body and the specific heat of the body is, let us consider S is the specific heat of the body. And the initial temperature of the body as T2 degrees centigrade and the temperature of surrounding as T1 degrees centigrade. So here the temperature is, let us consider change in temperature is delta T2. So heat loss by the body is nothing but let us consider it as delta Q. So the time interval is we are assuming as delta T. So then we can find the delta Q heat energy as m is delta T. So here S is the specific heat, m is the mass, and delta 2 is the change in temperature. And we want dq delta q by delta t. So this must be divided by delta t. So the rate of heat loss nothing but delta q by delta t, which is equal to ms delta t2 divided by delta t. So delta t2 is the change in temperature, delta t is the time. So let us consider this as equation 2. So both equation 1 and 2 are same. Both are delta q by delta t. So from Newton's law of cooling, delta q by delta t is equal to minus k into T2 minus T1. So by equating these two equations, we get so we are equating these two equations, equation 2 and 3. So we get minus ms delta t2 by delta t is equal to k into t2 minus t1. So we are equating the two equations 2 and 3. Or we are bringing the t2 minus t1 to the other side. So then becomes delta t2 by t2 minus t1 is equal to minus k by ms into delta t. Now we are integrating this equation. So integrating on both sides. So we are integrating the fourth equation. Then becomes integral of delta t2 by t2 minus t1 is equal to minus k by ms into dt. So integration of dt2 by t2 minus t1 is equal to minus integral of k by ms into delta t. And we know integral of dx by x is nothing but log x. So from this formula, integral of dt2 by t2 minus t1 becomes log t2 minus t1, and integral of dt is nothing but t. So you get log t2 minus t1 is equal to minus k by ms into t plus c. And this equation can be written as t2 minus t1 is equal to e power minus k by ms into t plus c. That means we are remove the integration and taking the integration logarithm on the other side. So now this can be written as e power c, some constant at e power minus k by ms into delta t. And this can also be written as k and c are defined as k is equal to another constant k by ms, and c is one of the constant which is nothing but e power c. Then equation 6 becomes t2 minus t1 is equal to c into e power minus kt, and t2 is equal to t1 plus c into e power minus kt. So this is nothing but equation of a straight line which is in the form of e is equal to mx plus c. So that's why if try a graph, then we get the graph as a straight line as we seen in the earlier. So this is about the Newton's law of cooling. So you get the final equation as T2 is equal to T1 plus C into e power minus kt. So I am summarizing once again. So this law states that the rate of loss of heat energy is directly proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. So dq by dt is equal to minus k into T2 minus T1 if T2 is more than T1, or dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2. So this is a mathematical form of Newton's law of cooling. So here we are seeing the statement: the rate of loss of heat energy is proportional to temperature difference between the body and the surrounding. So dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2. So dq by dt is equal to minus k into T1 minus T2, and here the negative sign indicates the loss of heat energy. So we already discussed the derivation. So let us see once again the derivation. So this is a statement of Newton's law of cooling. So suppose we are considering the mass of the body is m and specific as s, and the temperature of the body is T2 and temperature of surrounding is T1. So let the temperature changes by small amount, which is nothing but dT2 in time dt. So the amount of loss of heat dQ is equal to ms dT2, and we are finding the rate of loss of heat energy, which is nothing but dQ by dt. And that means we are dividing the above equation by time, and we get dq by dt is equal to ms dt2 by dt. So from equation of Newton's law of cooling, dq by dt is equal to minus k into t2 minus t1. So by equating both the equations, we get ms dt2 by dt is equal to minus k into t2 minus t1. So dt2 by t2 minus t1 is equal to minus k by ms into dt. Now we are integrating this equation. So dq by dt is equal to ms dt2 by dt. So ms dt2 by dt is equal to minus k t2 minus t1. So we are rearranging, we get dt2 by t2 minus t1 is equal to minus k by ms into dt, and we are integrating on both sides. And we know the formula: integral of dx by x is nothing but log x. So integral of dt2 by t2 minus t1 is nothing but log t2 minus t1, and integral of dx is nothing but x. So integral of dt becomes t. So you get log t2 minus t1 is equal to bt plus some constant, and here b is nothing but minus k by ms. And by taking logarithm on the other side, we get t2 minus t1 is equal to e power bt plus c, and the final equation becomes t2 is equal to t1 plus e power bt plus c. So this is the mathematical form of Newton's law of cooling. And under what conditions Newton's law is applicable? So there are some conditions for which Newton's law is applicable. So the first condition, so laws of it is negligible only because of conduction and only it is due to convention. So laws of it is negligible in conduction and it is only laws of it is only because of convention. And laws of it occurs in streamline flow, that is only for forced convection. And the temperature of the body is uniformly distributed over it and the temperature difference is moderate only up to 30 degrees Kelvin, then only the Newton's law is applicable. So these are the conditions for which we can apply the Newton's law of cooling. Next we will see what is global warming. So after 2 minutes I will show a video. So just see what is global warming. As the carbon dioxide content increases, more heat is retained in the atmosphere and the temperature all over the world increases, which is called as the global warming. So as the carbon dioxide content increases, more heat is retained in the atmosphere and the temperature all over the world increases, which is nothing but global warming. Then what are the effects of the global warming? So polar ice caps melt and fed more water in the rivers and seas, result in these severe floods. This is one of the effects of global warming. And in some areas, water resources dry up, leading to drought conditions. So this is also another effect of the global warming. And let us see next what is greenhouse effect. So when the earth receives sunlight, it gets heated up and emits infrared radiation into air. Carbon dioxide, CH4, N2O and ozone present the air, absorbs the heat content of the infrared radiation and keeps the earth warm. So this is called as the greenhouse effect. So now let us see the video. Seeing this video you can clearly understand what are these two effects. So global warming and greenhouse effect. About 70% of solar energy reached the earth is absorbed by the earth's surface. Some of the heat is trapped by gas such as carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, chlorofluorocarbon compounds and water vapor in the atmosphere. Thus, they add to the heating of the temperature. This causes global warming. That means the heat energy is increased more, which is called as global warming. So we all know that the cold places, flowers, vegetables and fruits are grown in the glass covered areas called greenhouses. But the temperature of the earth is now undergoing change to slowly. Atmosphere traps the sun's heat near the earth's surface and keeps it warm. This is called as natural greenhouse effect because it maintains the temperature and makes the earth perfect for life. So gases responsible for global warming. Carbon dioxide molecules present in Earth's atmosphere trap heat as they are transparent to sunlight but not to the heat radiation. Hence, carbon dioxide is the major contributor to global warming. Besides carbon dioxide, other greenhouse gases are methane, water vapor, nitrous oxide, CFC, and ozone. Large amounts of methane are released in paddy fields, coal mines, farm rotting garbage, dumps, and by fossil fuels. Carbon fluorosis, CFC used in air conditioning, etc., are also damaging the ozone layer. Nitrous oxide occurs naturally and are increased significantly due to the use of chemical fertilizer and the burning of the fossil fuels. So what are the effects of global warming? So let us see the effects. The average global temperature will increase to a level which may lead to the melting of polar ice caps and flooding of low-lying areas all over the earth. So this is one of the effects of global warming. And increase of incidence of infections, diseases like dengue, malaria, yellow fever, sleeping sickness, etc. So this is also another effect of global warming. So we discussed about the Newton's law of cooling and the effects, greenhouse effect and global warming. And that's all this video. Thank you.